Hello guys and welcome to another track guide. This week we are racing at the Nurburgring Sprint. That will be the killer chicane version of the Nurburgring. This lap was made during an official LFM race, as you can see on the bottom left. And yeah, let's get to it. To start the lap, if you're running on qualifying, of course, during a race you won't do this. You're gonna want to have a wide entry to the straight. That will give you almost a tenth, so it's really important to do that. It's free speed, doesn't cost you anything. So yeah, get a really wide entry, try to straighten the wheel as much as you can for the exit. Always remember to shift the car at 6500 RPM. So we're gonna be looking at the beginning of the curve for our braking reference. As you can see right here, we want to start braking really hard at the beginning of the curve, downshift soon to improve the braking capacity of the car by using engine braking. And as you can see at the braking trace, as we get into the corner, we're gonna want to dial the braking back down, because what we want to do in this corner is to brake really late, stay really tight, even on the exit. So we don't want to go wide because we're gonna increase the radius of the corner too much, and that's gonna be way too much track that we need to run. So the way that I do this, as you can see, I trail the braking down really aggressively, and that will cause a rotation on the rear of the car, as you can see here. And then we want to get on power really soon. Remember to not go too wide. So to set up this corner, as you can see, it's really hard because it's in a blind spot, but we want to get a wide angle. If the race is really cold, you maybe want to let off the power a little bit on the apex, but if it's a little bit hotter, maybe around the 26 degrees air temperature, you should be good. Do a really late apex. If you do an early apex, you're gonna go wide here. It's no problem, you can deal with it. But you will get a little bit of a slowdown on the dark green stuff here. But the ideal path around the track is on the inside. Now here, really tricky corner. We want to brake hard, aiming at the apex, but as soon as we're about time to go into second gear, we want to dial the brakes back down again, just like in the first corner, to maximize rotation. And we want to stay close inside, get on power later than you would think, because we want to get a really tight exit here, so we get a good line for the next corner. So as you can see, this is a recurring thing around this track. This is normal for racing, but in this track it's really necessary. You want to do the corner you're at while thinking about the next one, and you just want to position your car really well around the track. Really wide angle here. We want to keep the car settled, because as soon as we go on this curve, the car can get a little loose. So you can probably even expect it to go loose and straighten the wheel a little bit, just like I did there. Try not to go as wide because you get a little bit of slowdown, but if you do, no problem. So here, you have two options. You can take this corner in third gear and be a little bit safer, but for me, second gear is the best, because I can use the extra rotation of the second gear to help the car turn, because it's a off-cambered corner going downhill, so the front end is not really there. So if you use a lower gear, you get more engine braking and more rotation. So we want to brake a fraction before the 50-meter board and quickly go down into second. And here, I want to start accelerating about 50% here, just to give the car a little bit of forward momentum and kind of get in this groove, because if you don't, you're just kind of floating around the track and you're not really going anywhere. So yeah, apply a little bit of throttle, and then as soon as you go down the crest, you can go full power, quickly up into third. And here, you're gonna be accelerating. Yeah, you can see I'm really late on the power. And then as you're about to go on the apex, you let off the throttle to kind of unsettle the car and get the rear end out, just to rotate a little bit. Then as soon as you're past the apex, you're back on the power. It's really hard to do this. It's obvious you want to open up for the corners as much as you can, but if you go a little bit too wide on the corner before, you're not going to be able to go all the way out. But keep in mind that this is really important because we have a really long straight after this. So get a really wide line. Same thing here on power after turning in, and then you let off to let the car rotate. Here, just trying to maximize speed. Okay, so here, this is the most important corner of the track. You can gain a lot of time here, and you can also lose your race here. So we're gonna be braking after the 100-meter board. As you can see, there's a really light tire mark here. We're gonna want to brake a little bit before, and then you're gonna go down into third and get really tight on the first part of this chicane. And you want to take it at half throttle, because if you don't, the car is just loose, and if you keep it on power, you're going to keep the car settled, you're going to raise the front end a little bit, and just keep the car on rails here. So yeah, go over it, and then over it again on the second one. You will need to practice quite a bit. It's not really hard, but you need to find the right spot to land the car. But after 5 or 6 tries, you will be able to do it. And then this corner, don't go over the curb, because yeah, it's a wider line, it's better, but once you go down it, it kind of unsettles the car, and it's not really good for the exit here. Just dance the car. You keep it on coasting. I know it's a general idea that coasting is not a good thing, but in these sorts of corners, it's a really good tool. So just do a little some tapping on the brakes, just to get the nose in, and then coast as much as you can, and get on power on the exit. This is a little trick. If you find yourself going wide, don't put your wheels over this curb, because it will slow you down. So try to land the car on between the green part and the asphalt here. Don't go over the curb. And there you go. That is a 40.7. This is a really solid lap. Around the low 41s, you're already fighting for wins. So I will leave the links to my Discord on the description, where you can find more info. You can find the setup and an entire community helping each other to get better. So I'll see you guys there, and until next week, thank you. Goodbye.